when I reacted to the Spanish, whatever, Spanish dance, Spanish, whatever, that one I did, I was supposed to go into the US Blues. And then I just want to point out that when the person who requested it, which was a good request, and I learned that Jai Alai is pronounced highly. I had no idea. But look, I know that from a crossword clue. I didn't know that it was a sport and it was pronounced in Spanish, which makes a lot more sense when you think about it. JAI would be high. Uh, Anyway, so I didn't get to hear the US Blues. People were a little upset. They're like, how could you cut it off? I was like, because I'm just following the links you sent me. Imagine someone who's never had ice cream before, and that to me is the Grateful Dead. And then I'm expecting you guys to guide me on this journey because obviously I could just ask ChatGPT, but I figured you guys would be better than ChatGPT, right? That's the whole idea. So if you guys send me a link and you want me to react to it and then it ends, right, like 30 seconds into the US Blues, I'm sorry, I can't then at that point be like, wait, let me find a better one because I don't know what I'm even looking for, okay? So, however, someone then followed up and was like, no, you need to listen to the US Blues. And then I saw that's only 6 minutes. Not that I wouldn't want to listen to something longer, but this video looks cool. I think it's an actual ancient black and white. Is this like old film from like the turn of the century? Wow, did they even have cameras back then? Anyway, I'm joking, but yes, I think this might be the actual footage of this April 12th, 1978. Oh, wow. So in 1978, my parents got married. They were 21 years old. They would have been graduating from college like a few weeks after this. So yeah, my parents met in college, which is cute, when they were like 19 or 20. They got married at 21, and they're still married today. So I got to grow up in a nice, solid home of two, I guess, moderately aged boomers, because boomer goes from what, 1945 until 1959 or something. So yeah, they're like, oh, I guess they're towards the end of boomers then. Is 1965? I don't know. Wait, 1965. Okay, so I guess 1965 is the beginning of Gen X. So technically, they're like they're very middle of the boomer. They're not the oldest boomers and they're not the youngest boomers. So the oldest boomers were the hippies because if y'all was born in like 1945, oh, my alarm, that means you were, in 1968, you guys were like 20, you know, anywhere from like, if you, as long as you were like 18, I guess you could be a hippie. I guess if you were 16 and a really, really rebellious kid, you could have been a hippie. But I'm going to be interviewing my first Grateful Dead person. I don't know how old they are, but I'm guessing they were a groupie. So they're going to tell me stories about their Grateful Dead stuff and their journey. And I don't even know. I'm going in very open minded, and I'm just going to come in with the innocence of a child and like ask genuine questions about things, because again, all I saw was the movie Hair and Forrest Gump, and I knew that the Vietnam War was unpopular. That's pretty much all I know. And then Brady Bunch, Moonshine, Clowns Never Laughed Before. You guys have to see that remake if you haven't. It was so good. Here's the story of a dun dun dun. Yeah, no, it's okay. I like the time period. So we're going to go with this US Blues, 1978, April 12th. I was negative alive. Yeah, I was -7. But hey, 1978, those people born in that year, they're some of my favorite Gen Xers because they're like 7 years older than me. I don't know. I used to have like a crush on a guy who was like 7 years older than me, you know, when I was like 20, I don't know, 25, and he was 32, you know what I mean? So it's like, I like 1978 people, so I have a good feeling about 1978. Again, it's the year my parents got married and the year they graduated college. So here we go. that's so different than anything I've heard from them so far. It's very bluesy, pretty straightforward, meaning it's like pretty easy listening for all. It wasn't too melodically complex or anything like that. Obviously, they did a lot of cool like guitar things and riffing and playing off of each other, but it wasn't too like it wasn't like a Dark Star level or anything like that, which was nice. And there's a really simple melody, easy to follow. Now, obviously, this song has very meaningful lyrics, so let me make these bigger for everybody. I need your help with the analysis because I have my idea about what these things mean, but I'm also trying to understand the context because it's 1974. But, like, wasn't the war over by then? Maybe I don't know. It seems like a very anti-war song. Okay, so the war was still going, I guess. So this makes more sense to me now because I was like, well, this sounds kind of like Uncle Sam, you know, U.S. government. Obviously, red, white, and blue is the colors of the U.S. Oh, I have sunlight on me, so I apologize if that looks weird today. Whatever. Give me 5. I'm still alive. So maybe $5 for being alive. Ain't no luck. I learned to duck. I'm still alive because I dodged the draft, I'm guessing, because I learned to duck. It wasn't luck. I did it on purpose. Check my pulse. It don't change. Stays 72, come shine or rain. So this could mean both 1972, but I think it's the weather because, you know, California has pretty good weather. So if they're hanging out in California being hippies and draft dodgers, that makes sense. Pulse has to be with being alive and also the climate on the ground. I mean, political climate on the ground. By the way, y'all, I can analyze some poetry. I know I didn't pay attention to any words before, but that's because I was like, whatever. These words speak to me more because I can understand this. I did take AP literature and AP language and studied much poetry. Okay, wave the flag, pop the bag. I'm guessing this is a bag of drugs. Wave the flag, you know, pretend you're patriotic, but then also do drugs. Rock the boat, don't go along with the man, don't go along with the establishment. Skin the goat. I don't know what that means. Maybe make money. You guys can tell me. Wave the flag, wave it wide and high. Summertime done come and gone, my oh my. Whenever it's summertime, it can be representative of actual summer, but also of good times past. So it's like summer's over, as in like we have to go back to reality now. So maybe someone was like draft dodging for the summer or like for a time period of utopia, and then they have to go back to reality. So, I'm Uncle Sam. That's who I am. Been hiding out in a rock and roll band. Well, I understand this if you're just playing music instead of fighting. But then how do you personify Uncle Sam? Or does it just rhyme? Shake the hand, then shock the hand. Whoa. Of P.T. Barnum and Charlie Chan. Are these real people? P.T. obviously some kind of like military officer. So, showman and former Connecticut state representative, but he's no longer alive. Promoting celebrated hoaxes. Are you talking about Barnum, like Ringling Barnum and Bailey Circus? Oh, he's the greatest showman. From like the movie, but then the one who made the circus, maybe? Who's Charlie Chan? A fictional character. So, fictional Honolulu police detective from a mystery novel? What show is this? The New Adventures of Charlie Chan from 1932? Okay, so this would have been like a really old historical movie character. It looks like nowadays this would be canceled for tokenism. Is this supposed to be an Asian detective? Anyway, based on Okay. Oh, yellow peril stereotypes. Okay, so it was like a non-villain Asian character from a long time ago. Still, that would not fly today. Um, okay, so these are people that are no longer alive. One made a circus, and one was a character from a movie. It rhymes. Shine your shoes, light the fuse. Can you use them? Old US blues. I'll drink your health, share your wealth, run your life, steal your wife. What is this, communism? No personal property? Oh, can you use them? Old US blues. I'll drink your health. Okay, you guys have to explain that one to me. It's a little bit, could mean nothing. You know, sometimes you can put rhyming things, or it means something that's not apparent right now. Wave that flag, wave it wide and high. Summertime done coming by. Back to back chicken shack. That just rhymes. Does chicken shack mean anything? Son of a gun, better change your act. We're all confused. What's to lose? You can call this all the United States blues. I get this. It's like you're both patriotic, but also like, what is this war that we're in? And why are we in this war? And why are people dying unnecessarily? And why are we being drafted to fight in a war that we are not even part of? So yeah, I get that. Well, they look okay. Then this is where my comments come in. Yeah, summertime done, come and gone. My oh my, that's a pretty cool song. I think it's a nice way to express something, putting it in like a lighthearted fashion, making it like a fun blues song, but then having like a serious um, content. I wonder what the internet says, like AI. What does U.S. Blues by Grateful Dead mean? Let me spell. The meaning, according to dead.net. This song refers to so much musical, theatrical, and political figures that we are left feeling both proud and somewhat bemused by our own past as a country. Blue Suede Shoes kicks it off, putting both Elvis Presley and Jerry Lee Lewis into our heads. Then the lineup of references moves quickly along as Uncle Sam, the song narrator, announces himself. Yes, Uncle Sam wears blue suede shoes, apparently. Converse high tops? Okay. The figure of Uncle Sam has always been a fairly dire one in my experience, looking out from lowered brows, telling us what he wants from the army. Yikes, this Uncle Sam is more charming, but not altogether benign, being ready to run our lives and steal our wives, despite the fact that he has learned to duck and seems to be hiding out in a rock and roll band. For me, this song speaks to a waning empire. Written by Hunter with music by Garcia over the course of the 1973, as the U.S. role in Vietnam was winding down to a less than triumphant close, the song always included the line about summertime having come and gone. The summer of U.S. power seemed at the time to be on the way out. Indeed, early lines in Wave That Flag include Feed the Poor, Stop the War. Oh, they changed it. Live in shame, die in vain. That version is right for a hip-hop remake, seems to me. But Hunter keeps it light. He threw out most of the overly political lines for the final version, which we are left with more than a romp and a stomp. It doesn't hurt in terms of keeping it light that he brings in P.T. Barnum and Charlie Chan. Shake the hand. Da, 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 da. Oh, there was an old song called Shake the Hand That Shook the Hand of Sullivan from 1898. Barnum was a showman and something of a charlatan. True. He purchased a female slave. What? He exhibited as a 161 disposing nurse George Washington, 1835. He had a museum. Okay, yes, right. The circus, the greatest show on earth. Yes. Charlie Chan, a fictional character, possessed a large family living in Hawaii and solving crimes as a private detective. Misappropriation, right? That's what I was talking about, but whatever. He substituted the Shah of Iran for Charlie Chan in performances. That's interesting. U.S. Blues debuted on February 22nd, George Washington's birthday, Winterland, San Francisco. Must have been the Roses. Its final appearance was the band's next to last show, July 8th, 1995. Oh, I was only 9 years old here, people. Where in the encore it in between, it was played 323 times. It appeared on this. Okay. Da, 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 da. He rewrote U.S. Blues. He declined any association with the song, which was credited to We're Alone. Oh. One More Saturday Night. That must be a different song. This throws an interesting light on the line. You can call this song the United States Blues. Okay. Well, I'm glad there's a random website called dead.net that can give me information. That's useful. What does this say? I've always interpreted the song as a stick to the U.S. How about Uncle Sam, the Godfather figure? He steals my wife. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I've always seen it as a tongue-in-cheek way of being patriotic. Yeah, I love this place, but look at all the stupid stuff that we've done. Summertime come and gone to mean that America's best years are behind her. Is a reference to Vietnam coming to a close. Or the Dead is a CIA psyop? What? I don't know, guys. This can go down. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of Reddit right now because that's going to be interesting. But my favorite thing about listening to this song was that I feel like I got to really learn about something in history in real time through music. So instead of just reading a history book, I got to listen to a song, analyze the words, and then I had to look up things because I was like, when did the Vietnam War end and stuff that I don't know off the top of my head. And I think that's really interesting. And so now I'm like, oh, cool. I learned all this things. And the song is, this song is very just typical bluesy and very accessible. I mean, that's why I think it's kind of ironic about it. It's this could have been done in a very sad, deep anti-war protesty type song. And instead it was just kind of isn't it great? Everything's good and happy. So yeah, I like that. I'm glad that I finished that, and I'm glad I got to watch this recording because this is different. Oops, allergies. This one's different than the one that was connected to the Spanish, whatever that's called. I can't even remember my own thing for yesterday. I know it was the Spanish song, Spanish dance, Spanish. See, I changed my picture, by the way. My dad said I should put a smiling picture instead of a serious picture, and he doesn't like the ones up here either. He only likes when I'm smiling, but I think he's right. But I think it's also the boomer aesthetic. It's happy smiling women. By the way, I want to do an episode where, well, first of all, it's June 1st today, and on August 1st is the beginning of the Dead and Company San Francisco, to which I have a ticket for the 3-day festival. And part of that will be, we're now in a countdown, a 60-day countdown of me preparing for that. And I really want to have as many Dead songs as possible, because for 3 days, that's going to be a lot of music. Obviously, the first day is Billy Strings opener or guest. I don't know what that means, whether they're going to play together or it's going to be an opener. And then it's going to be Sturgill and whatever that person's called. And then the Trey Anastasio band, which my brain wants to, even though I know Fish and I know it's Trey Anastasio, because it's Anastasio and it's 5 syllables, it's really hard for me to say. I just want to call it the Trey Anderson band. I'm anglicizing it. I know it's not true, but that's how my mind works. It's the Trey Anderson band, because it's T-A-B. And then it's no, it's the Trey Anastasio band. But that's so many syllables. I know, you guys don't, whatever. So yes, in the meantime, I have to do that. So we're going to have to do things get outfits, and I'm gonna have to figure out what to wear, and I don't know what to wear to a hippie festival, you know how I dress. Look at all my pictures. It's cocktail dresses. So yeah, this was great. I learned a lot. That was really cool. I liked that one a lot. In fact, this was probably one of the best reactions I've done, because you guys have been complaining I don't listen to the words, but on a typical song where there's so much going on musically, how can I listen to the words? This song was so simple musically, but in the best way, because that blues is always just a 16-bar pattern. So you do it's 4 bars of C or whatever, 1 chord, then it's 4 chord, then back to 1. Then it's usually a 5 chord here, 16 bar blues pattern. Very, very typical. So, okay. All right, I'm going to publish this soon. And if you think, I would love to listen to more songs that are like Vietnam era coded, like war protesty stuff. Like in the movie Hair, they like burn their draft cards, you know? And I always thought that was interesting. And for those who are on my channel, how many of you went to the war versus how many of you like didn't? I know that one of my favorite authors is John Irving, and I know he was like a draft dodger. I think he went to Canada and Europe during the war, and he wrote a bunch of books. But yeah, that's what I know. So yeah, thanks for sharing that recommendation. I'm glad I finished it, and very cool. I'll have to watch that transition next time, but I thought this was a really good version, and it came with a video, so who can complain? I'll see you all next time. I got to go off and teach some young people piano and singing today. Educate the future. All right. Bye-bye.